Hey guys, this is Nathan and welcome back to Forever Stranded. Hope you guys are doing good today. I am doing amazing. So, in the last couple of episodes, I've been trying to get this Ender IO storage system to work and found out a few more rather interesting things about it. One of which is you can pull the contents of one of these storage warehouses out into another object, and these medium storage crates, it will fill both pages of it, which that's great, except that these medium storage crates also will interact with an awareness upgrade. So if we grab these guys here and go down and grab this, I do not have a pickaxe, so we will grab that. And we'll grab our panel from down here. So we now have our inventory panel and a conduit with an awareness upgrade. If we put this on here, set this to in and out, give it an awareness upgrade, and then put a panel on it, voila, there we go. All of the contents of this storage crate can now be seen here. So this actually needs to go to return, and then this needs to be set to always active, and now that will behave just like any other area inside of our crafting system. So this will allow me to sort out all of our food related items, because as you can see, this would have taken a huge amount of storage space inside of our main storage system. So it's kind of important that we plan this out a little bit more carefully. You can see this here was the crate that I have been removing these items from. And if we look here now, you know, this, I basically saved an entire storage crate worth of room. That is a very big deal. So yes, it's definitely worthwhile to go through and do that. I'm also trying to pull out the contents of other ones because there are still more things like more eggs and meat and all kinds of stuff like that, and you can see immediately it is refilling this because it's still set to extract. So yes, I do need to do a lot more of this. There's also some things like these ore bits that need to be down in our storage drawers system. So there's a lot of stuff that it's kind of becoming a mess here. So kind of want to make sure that this is all organized. And yeah, once I get done with that, there is something that is much more pressing to worry about. And you may see it here. Our capacitor bank is empty. So yes, that is what we're going to be looking at today. So I will see you guys in a little bit. So I have finally gotten everything cleaned up in our storage, and amazingly, by cleaning all of that up and also setting priority, so there is a way to set priority on these, which I kind of figured there was. But so if we take a look at, well, we can't even get back there anymore. But on this one here, maybe we can get here. Maybe not. Let's just punch our way in here, because this is the one. Darn it. So this guy here. So we can set the priority here, and a higher priority, I believe, makes it to where the system will seek out the high priority first and then place the items in there before it tries doing it anywhere else. So I have set this one very high, so anything that is in this storage drawer system will automatically go into the storage drawer system. Now, we may want to add a few more things to this, and we could possibly add some storage crates as well, because there's also, I believe, let's just take a look at Ender IO and filter. So I believe there is an the existing item filter. So if we look at this, if we hold shift, it says selects only items already in the inventory. Right click while sneaking on the inventory to add the content to the snapshot. So this existing item filter, we could use it, like for something, and let's actually do that real quick, because so what I've done is I have pulled all of the concrete out of the system because, well, quite frankly, I don't need it in the system. I've also pulled out all of the mob skulls and all of my solidified experience. So let's go ahead and try this real quick. So we will take, we need conduit. We need a conduit. So let's grab some item conduits, and then we need an existing item filter. We are missing the advanced item filter. We need a Z-Logic. Okay, so there's going to be a little bit of stuff involved in that, so I'm not going to worry about that just yet. But I'm pretty sure that that will work, and so then we would be able to set up a whole bunch of, and we wouldn't want to use these medium storage crates, but we would set up a bunch of these large storage crates. Because quite frankly, one large storage crate holds about as much contents as one of these inventory warehouses, the extended warehouse. And yeah, by cleaning all of this up, removing the concrete and the mob skulls and the solidified experience, making sure that everything that's supposed to be in the storage drawers is there, we were able to get all of the rest of it into one extended warehouse. So that is really nice. We've got 3 more of them. So yeah, there's definitely some stuff that we can do there. And I think when I set these up, I will be setting them up. And I guess another thing that we removed was all of this food related items. But we could set up one of these to just accept IC2 stuff, because we also have a mod filter. So we can sort by mods, or we can do other things. So there's a lot of options to make sure that we get our items sorted properly. Another thing is I have switched over to cactus for producing my water, and that is working great. So if we pop down here, this will be one of the easiest ways to get water. I was trying to figure out how we were going to automate leaf production, and then I realized that we could use cactus. That is no problem whatsoever. So yes, that is what we'll be using there. And we can now move on to the pressing problem of today, and that is power production. So we have the oil production, and it's working great. We are producing way more oil than we are using, but unfortunately it's still a manual process, and we need to get this to be automatic so that the farms are automatic. They are producing power at the farms, and our generators are automatically turning on and off and things like that. There's a lot that needs to be done with this. So one thing that I did do was to upgrade all of my capacitor banks here to vibrant capacitor banks. And look at this. 54 million RF of storage in these 3 blocks. That's how much we can hold. That is 27 times the amount of power that we could store here before. But then on top of that, we are outputting at 75,000 RF a tick, which means that is 25 times as fast as it used to be. But here's something that's really cool. So if we grab a stack of sand, let's see here, let's go over here and grab a stack of sand. Well, 2 stacks of sand, okay, whatever. So I set up a wooden pressure plate out here. You may have seen this before, but this is so that I can very quickly make things like my seeds here, the crystallized canola seeds, and other things that require the atomic reconstructor, including soul sand. So if I hold Control and Q out a stack of items, we can see that almost as fast as it happens, that thing is filled back up. So I can just sit here and throw these out until I am completely used up on the sand, and there we go. That quickly I made 2 stacks of soul sand. So that is That is really something else. And if we look at soul sand, I don't know for sure. Yeah, we've got a little bit in here. We'll go ahead and add this. It's whatever. And also, I guess we have a stack of solarium in there. So, yeah, let's go ahead and grab that. But so we do need to get our power automated. And we are going to be doing that over in the farm area. But I did make a mistake in this. When I upgraded these capacitor banks, I had one of my portable temperature regulators in the capacitor bank. Didn't even think about it because when you break a capacitor bank, it holds its items. When I upgraded the capacitor bank, that temperature regulator disappeared. So I did lose one of them, and we need to set up another one too. So if we go over here to our farms, we can see everything is dead over here right now. And that's partly because I forgot to turn on my heating coil here. So we need this thing to be heated in here, but we're not going to do this farm on the outside of the base anymore. So all of these external farms are going to be Pam's Harvest Craft and trees. One of these will be used for rubber trees, which, by the way, I cleaned up my rubber trees even more. There's only rubber bearing blocks over there. But, yeah, I need to get a bunch of stuff built up here so that we can have these canola farms, because we're probably going to need more than one set up over here. So, yeah, I got some building to do, and I will see you guys after a bit. So a fair amount of work has been done between clips. You can see now that all of my oil stuff is missing here. And that is because I have done a bunch of stuff out here at the farm area. So actually, let's go ahead and go into the shuttle and climb up on top of there, and we can see this a little better. So I added a bunch more stuff to the farm area, as well as doing a bunch of work inside. So we can see here now there's more stuff up above. The bridge is now connected, even though I still need to put in some curved downward supports on that because it just feels really goofy right now, and there's a hole there. So let's go ahead and get over into the farms. And so the other thing here, you can see that all of the stuff that was here is gone, as well as this being opened up again. So all of this stuff got removed, and I actually need to take this out as well. And that stuff is now in here. So this is where we are going to be doing our oil production. Now currently the only way to get in here is via the Staff of Traveling. But I also have a temperature regulator in here so that this is now the proper temperature for growing this, what, paper cone? Since when is that a paper cone? What the? Okay. What on earth is a paper cone? From Actually Additions, what on earth does this do? Oh, you use this for French fries and fish and chips. Okay, well, we are not raising paper cones here, I swear, because we are getting canola out of this, and we're getting a little bit of seeds. So this is what we're going to be using then, of course, to make our fuel. So immediately after leaving the farmer, the canola can go up into the canola press or into this medium storage. And actually, when I think about it, I need to up the priority on this canola press, because we want this thing to be filled before the seeds go into the storage crate. From the canola press, of course, we get canola oil. That is then spread out here into 3 fermenting barrels. And one of you, I cannot remember who, told me that 1 canola press can feed 3 fermenting barrels. Yep, pretty much. So from the fermenting barrels, of course, we are getting our regular oil, and that is being dumped into these 2 tanks. Now from here, we need to infuse this oil with some of the other stuff. So actually here, if we grab our pouch, think, yeah, this stuff is in here. So first we need to make the crystallized canola seed, then we need to make the empowered canola seed, and after that we need to add the crystallized seed and then the empowered seed to the oil to turn it into our empowered oil. So there's a few things that we need to get going on this. So let's go ahead and head back up to the main base so that we can make some items. So let's go ahead and look at actually additions. And, well, first thing we need to do, we need another atomic reconstructor. So we'll go ahead and make this. I can't remember. No, we don't have any iron casings. So let's go ahead and make one of those. And why do we not have any redstone? Oh, because it's all in block form. We are desperately going to need to figure out some way to get more redstone. Let's take a look here at the recipes on redstone. Is there anything other than sieving that can give us redstone? Ores, of course. Scrap boxes from industrial craft could possibly do it. Of course, the sieve, we have a 13% chance of 7 of them dropping with the compressed dust, and we may have to get our heavy sieve. World Gen is not going to do us any good unless maybe we go to the Deep Dark, which is, I think, a possibility. Of course, witches could do it, and that might actually be a solution because we do have a couple of witch spawners now, so that might be something to think about. Dungeon loot, villager trades. So a cleric could give us redstone, possibly. None of these are really going to be very useful. Actually, the pulverizer would be a good one because the cinnabar is pretty good. Sawmill is not going to do us any good. Kiln, no. Alloy smelter, no. Sag mill, if we could get our hands on some redstone ore, use a sag mill with some dark steel balls, I think that would be our best bet, because the dark steel balls, you can see main output 150%, bonus output 200%, and then a 30% power reduction. And the dark steel balls aren't really too difficult to make anymore. Of course, our regular sieve, we have a 13% chance of 1 per dust. Now, unfortunately, we're sieving sand at the moment, so that doesn't do us any good. But, yeah. So, we should be able to make this in just a second. And I think we will be setting up the... where on earth did it go? We will be setting up the witch spawner somewhere so that we can get all of those drops. Okay, so the atomic reconstructor is going to allow us to make our crystallized seeds, but then we need to make our empowered seeds. So we're going to have to take our empowerer over there. And all of that will be fairly straightforward. You know, we'll have... actually, we will need a precision dropper. So I'm going to use this automatic precision dropper for this. And I think we need to make... Yeah, we need to make this guy. And we're going to need a couple of those coils. So let's go ahead and make a few of those. We actually can't make nearly as many as I had hoped, but that's fine. So now we'll make this into there. Okay, so there's that. And let's get our automatic precision dropper. And there we go. So that will allow us to place our seeds. We're actually going to need another one of those in order to drop the seeds into the oil after it's all said and done. Now, to drop seeds in the oil, we need to place the oil into the world. For that, we need the fluid placer. So to make the fluid placer, we need an auto placer and a couple of buckets. So we should have... Oh, no, we are minus the palace crystals. So we need to take a stack of redstone and turn this into palace crystals. So Control Q. There we go. Stack of palace crystals. That will take care of all of that. And so now we get our auto placer. Now we add our buckets and we get our fluid placer. Then to pick the oil back up, we need the fluid collector, which is an auto breaker plus a couple of buckets. And I think we may have an auto break. Oh, no. Yeah, I have an auto breaker, but we don't want to use it. So we'll go ahead and take our auto breaker, and then we should have a couple more buckets. We have one more. Okay, so we're going to keep one bucket, and we're going to make a couple. But I think you can probably get a little bit of an idea of what I've got planned here. Where on earth are all my ingots? It feels like we've got a bunch of stuff missing here. Wait. We have blocks of iron. Maybe I used up all of the iron. Can't hardly believe I did, but maybe I did. Well, let's go ahead and get a little of this stuff in there. So, buckets. So let's go ahead and make a couple of buckets. And then we just need the buckets on each side of the auto breaker. And that's going to give our fluid collector. That should take care of everything now. So now we just need some redstone, some logic circuitry, and we should be able to figure all of this out. So that, I'm going to work on that here in just a second. And then also we need to get ender storage. We need a couple of ender tanks. So for this we need a cauldron. We'll need a couple of cauldrons actually. And I think we're going to make like 4 of these and color code them all the same. So we should have enough blaze rods and obsidian and ender pearls and everything. Okay, the cauldrons are not in yet, so there we go. So how many of these can we make? Yep, we can make all 4. So there we go, and those will all stack. Now, dyes, do we have any dyes that we can put on this? And I just saw something that I don't want in here. Oh well. But yeah, this will allow us then to put the oil into a tank. So if we grab these guys, we can put this tank here, and that will allow us to have our oil go into our generators up here. So yeah, let me get some work done on some redstone here. This is going to be a little bit difficult to do, and I will see you guys after a little bit. Well, I now have a system that is automatically making my empowered seeds from canola. So the first thing that we have to do in this system is to pull the items out of our storage crate here, the canola, and run it into an analog crafter. Now this analog crafter will turn the canola into canola seeds. Now from there, we send it into the precision dropper, and from there it gets placed on the ground whenever this chest has no items in it. So when this chest has no items in it, this comparator turns off and unlocks that repeater, allowing this redstone clock to send a pulse through these blocks. So these blocks are powered in such a way that we have the redstone signal first going into this automatic precision dropper, and so it throws out a seed, and then 3 ticks later we hit the atomic reconstructor, sending out a pulse from there. Now on the other side of this thing, and actually it looks like we might need to go another pulse down because we have a seed sitting in there. And now at this point we have a seed that shouldn't be there. Okay, so the timings are a little off at the moment. Let's try that and just see what happens. Okay, now at that point we are no longer even firing. Well, that's rather annoying. I'm gonna have to see if I can figure out what's going on with that. But anyway, after that, the items end up in this oak chest as crystallized canola seeds. Now these crystallized canola seeds can be pulled out in and placed into this center empowerer. Now I have set up the cabling underneath here. We have quite a bit of cabling. We have power cables that are running to the display stands, keeping them powered, and then we have item conduits running around here that are moving items around. Now one thing that you can do here, we have this set on the brown channel and then this one set on the brown channel. And so they communicate with each other, and then these are all set on the green channel. So the green channel pulls its items from the bottom of the analog crafter and sends them around and through into all of the display stands. So we're pulling a lot out of this analog crafter, but fortunately it doesn't have a terrible time keeping up when the system isn't running. So then we have the items being pulled back out of the empowerer. Currently we're running them into this mini chest. So now the next thing that we are going to need is 2 mini chests. We're going to need one for the empowered seeds, and we're going to need one for the crystallized seeds. So now we need to start working with the oil. So what I need to do is get the sequencing correct here, and we need to have the fluid placer place down the oil. Then we need to have the precision dropper, and we'll probably have to have 2 of them, but we'll have the precision droppers drop one crystallized seed and one empowered seed, and then we will have the fluid collector pick it all back up. And I think we can do that fairly easily just by going around in a circle. So once again, back to doing a little bit more redstone, and I will see you guys in a little bit. So I now have the completed setup automatically making the empowered oil for us. So after we get all of our seeds, then we have them going into our precision droppers here. And obviously we are waiting on some seeds to be processed here because, yeah, the farm currently is trying to catch back up. And if it's not looking like it's going to keep up, we can always expand the farms over to this side. So that is a distinct possibility. But our oil here gets pumped into this fluid placer and then picked up by the fluid collector and transferred into this ender tank. Now over here we have a redstone clock, and this redstone clock is running through a repeater that can be locked by a comparator because the fluid collector actually gives off a redstone signal. So anytime there is fluid in the collector, this will shut off and lock our clock from being able to power anything. If it's not locked, we get a signal running into this block, placing down the oil. Then a couple of ticks later, we get a signal into this one, dropping our crystallized seed. Then a couple of ticks later, we get a signal into this block, placing down an empowered seed. And then a couple of ticks later, we activate the fluid collector. And it is actually working very well. And we have currently we have our ender tank sitting over here. Now the nice part is we'll be able to take these ender tanks anywhere that we need power now. But this one here, we are going to go ahead and hook this up here to our generators because we can see we're slowly losing power here. So we'll go ahead and set this to extract and always active, and there we go. We are starting to get power here. Now if we go back to our oil production area, we will see this will kick on here in just a little bit. So we still have oil in here. Should slowly drain out. Well, it should. Okay, it is very slowly draining out. So yes, we're slowly going to be draining out our empowered oil, and once it hits the top end or gets this all cleared out, it will place down a bucket of oil, throw out our seeds, and then pick the oil right back up. Kind of hope that we can catch this, but I guess we could do it this way. So we'll go ahead and break this redstone over here, if I can hit it, and we'll see oil, seeds, oil, seeds. Yeah, everything's working great. And so now we look, and we have a little over 6.5 buckets of oil waiting to go into the tank, and all of this is working great. So I will have to kind of keep an eye on this, make sure that everything works flawlessly here. But yes, it is working. It is working nicely. So yes, it's just a matter of making sure that we have enough seeds coming in, we have enough oil going out, everything like that. Now the other thing is I will need to set up one oil generator here, so I will be setting one ender tank right here, and we'll get ourselves an oil generator. And actually, let's go ahead and make that really quick. So let's go back over here to the oil production, and I'm pretty sure that we can find ourselves, yes, we have a ripe seed here. So we'll go ahead and grab that and get up here so that we can make ourselves a couple more oil generators. So let's go ahead and clear this, and there we go, right there. So the oil generator, we're going to need a couple of iron casings for that. Not that. So let's go ahead and make 2 of them, since we have enough for 2 of them. So wait for those to get into the system. There we go. Oil generators. So this will allow us to have power constantly down here in the oil production area as well. So we only need 1 of these, but we'll go ahead and place it here right next to the capacitor bank. Now I just noticed we have a little bit of a problem. We're putting regular oil into there. So we need to get around to the back side here. And how do we get around here? Kind of a mess around here. So we'll go ahead and turn this one off. And then we need to set in a fluid conduit here and set this to extract. So now we'll have all the power that we could need here. Now there are ways to automate these generators as well. We'll probably have to be looking at that in the next episode, because I think I'm way over time on this one. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, be sure to give a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have any thoughts about what I've been working on or anything that you want to see, be sure to leave that down in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!